Dude, where were you last week? We didn't even have a show.
I was bringing another Steelers fan into this world.
Great, that's exactly what we need. Another one. Good afternoon, sports fans, and welcome back to another episode of the Trajan Sportcast Season 2. I am your host, professional wrestler and Kansas City Chiefs fanatic Christian Temple, joined alongside as always by my good friend, the terrible towel-twirling Trajan, who is now a two-time father in his family.
Yeah, thank you. Another Steelers fan. We're gradually populating the Midwest here. Soon all you'll see is black and yellow as you go down the streets.
Only 7 more till Phillip Rivers, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, don't put that on me.
Come on. If you're not going to go for the top, you might as well not.
Don't even compete.
So, obviously, congratulations to the Trajan family, the birth of their healthy and happy baby girl. Alongside with little Julia as well too. Obviously, wish you all the very best too. Show Trajan some love down in the comments below. But on that note, it is finally time. The preseason is over. All of the teams have made it down to their mandated 53-man rosters, and boy, we are just a hop, skip, and a jump away from the regular season, and I couldn't be more excited. What was your takeaway from the preseason so far? It means a little bit more to you guys, obviously, because of the quarterback battle.
Yeah, it was. This is probably the most I've paid attention to preseason for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm happy where things stand right now. Of course, there's some players you really think they're going to make it. They end up not. There's a wide receiver that I liked, but our wide receiver room is just really, really packed right now. And that's one thing we always seem to find as wide receivers. So hopefully we can keep on getting some guys like Pickens and plays like that, but yeah, no. Pickett did great. Trubisky did great. It made it hard, and I think ultimately Trubisky did enough to get the job there. He didn't. Either one of them did not throw an interception the whole preseason. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty good. Generally, you have one interception in there, so they look great.
You heard it here first. Mason Rudolph starting week 1.
Yep.
No, it was. I didn't watch too much of the preseason of the Steelers. I did catch the first half of their last game against the Detroit Lions, and this is a Detroit Lions that's really trying to make an identity, make a better way of their culture. Turn around their season after how last year went and everything. So I thought Trubisky looked pretty solid. I didn't get a chance to watch a whole lot of picking, but you know what? It's probably the right move that Trubisky starts out first. You get Pickett some time to develop underneath him too, and then who knows? There could be a scenario where if Pickens called him to duty, then I think he might be ready to go to take the reins.
No, you're going to be seeing a lot of him. If a new dynasty is merging.
so Steelers going to Super Bowl this year still?
Steelers going to Super Bowl.
There we go. That's the spirit. As far as the Chiefs are concerned, I have happy news to report. Patrick Holmes did in fact make the 53-man roster. It was kind of a little shaky there too with the 2 preseason games where he got on the field and both of his opening drives, he led down the field touchdowns. The fact that he was only able to get 1 touchdown on one opening drive, on the one singular opening drive, and not 2 touchdowns on one drive. That's you kind of expect a little bit more out of Mahomes, but it is what it is. But he did just enough this preseason to crack the starting roster and beat out Chad Henne and Shane Buechele. So props to Patrick Mahomes. I knew he had it in him. On a more serious note, there were a few players that I thought did a great job and did deserve their spot on the main roster. One of them being Justin Watson. who was kind of a fringe player last year on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He shined very brightly in the preseason, and I was happy to see his name called. Another one, I was very high on Willie Gay and Nick Bolton last year, but Leo Chenal, an undrafted free agent at the linebacker position. There were several players, like even several veterans from other teams that the Chiefs had signed during the offseason, but Chenal, undrafted, earned his place into the starting lineup too, and I saw nothing but good stuff from him alongside Darius Harris. So we'll probably see a little bit more of them on the special teams alongside Watson. But if God forbid, knock on wood, hopefully it doesn't happen, if Willie Gay or Nick Bolton do happen to go down, they've got some depth at the linebacker position, which it's no secret one of the biggest detriments on the Chiefs defense has usually been their run defense, and Willie Gay and Nick Bolton, they stepped up big time last year. I mean, I can remember the Tennessee game, even though the score may say otherwise, it wasn't Derrick Henry that just ran all over the defense. It was one of the few games last year where Tannehill was just firing on all cylinders. What was he like? He was like 11 of 12, his first 12 throws, and was already like almost 200 passing yards in and all that. But yeah, Nick Bolton and Willie Gay, they stepped up to Derrick Henry, and he really wasn't that big of a force. So that gives me some hope that our run defense will hopefully continue to improve on there. But yeah, the 53-man rosters are set for every single team. And obviously we're not just going to talk about our teams this following this preseason. What we have for you guys today is a little staple that we established last season. We have for you the NFL tier maker. And here you see we are starting with the same format that we had last year, with the top being the Super Bowl contender, playoff contender. We got meh, bleh, and just straight trash. And it's going to be interesting to see how wrong we are come week 4 when we look over this again. So, but without further ado, let us begin. And we will start with the Arizona Cardinals, who did in fact make the playoffs last year.
They did.
It was kind of shaky there for a little while too, being that DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray were out for multiple weeks respectively. But an unsung hero of that team, Colt McCoy of all people, helped get some key wins and bring him into. I kind of see them as meh myself. I'm not sure if they're going to be at the playoff contender, considering DeAndre Hopkins being out for the first 6 weeks, but they could prove me wrong. I don't think they're terrible. They just need some help in order to get to the playoffs.
I thought we were going to have our first disagreement on this one, but I agree with you on it. We had them as playoff contenders or maybe Super Bowl contenders last year. Mm-hmm. And I'm just not liking everything they did. Personnel-wise, the talks out of the Cardinals right now.
Absolutely. I mean, the whole controversy with the contract extension for Kyler Murray, and then the homework clause, the drama on that, and then of course the PEDs from Kyler Murray, or excuse me, DeAndre Hopkins rather. That threw things kind of in a loop for Arizona as far as a media circus. But you know what? I don't think they're going to be out of the conversation entirely. We'll just have to see how it plays on these first few weeks. But I think we will also agree probably on this next one. We've got the Atlanta Falcons, and I think this might be a recurring theme from them being in the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, really, there's no hope for them. I don't know. I'd love to be proven wrong.
Absolutely, it's a surprise can come from anywhere. It would just take a lot of surprises, a lot of positive surprises for the Falcons to do something here too. So we got our first AFC North contender here too, and last year, obviously, it's no secret, a lot of injuries plagued the Baltimore Ravens. I think if they stay healthy this year, I could definitely see them as a playoff contender.
I agree there. I'm not seeing them Super Bowl wise right now, but I think they're definitely going to be in the mix for the playoffs at the end of the year.
Here's one that you might agree with me also, and I absolutely hate to do this already, but speaking of Super Bowl contenders, the Buffalo Bills, I think, is primed and ready to strike with the weapons that they have right now. They had the top defense last year, and they added Von Miller to it. Of course, you've got Josh Allen at your quarterback position. You've got a solid run game. He's got receivers aplenty to throw to. I think as of right now, if we're looking pre-week 1, the way too early predictions, I think the Buffalo is going to be up there in the conversation.
As long as they can get the boogeyman off their back, I think they can. I think they can do it.
Absolutely. All right, this next one I'm kind of on the fence about because there's a little quarterback controversy there, but it has been officially announced. Baker Mayfield will be the starter for the Carolina Panthers. However, will that be enough to get him over the hump? I'm not thinking they're trash. I think they've been upgraded with him. I'm going to put them in the bleh category.
Yeah, the only thing exciting coming out of this storyline is that Baker is going to be facing his old team week 1.
That's going to be exciting.
That's the only thing exciting about the Carolina Panthers right now.
That's the only thing to be excited about as a Carolina Panther right now, for sure. Next, I think we'll keep this in the same category with obviously a new head coach. You still got Justin Fields at quarterback. I'm going to stick with blah for the Bears. I don't think they're ready to be in the trash category yet.
Really? Haven't been graduated to the trash yet.
Not yet. We'll see how the first 4 weeks treat them, but I think there might still be a little hope, a little bit of hope as far as the new head coach and everything too. Maybe he'll play more into Justin Fields' strengths rather than Matt Nagy did.
Okay, I'll agree with you there.
There we go. Moving on to our next AFC North contender, and I think I will keep them alongside with the Baltimore Ravens. I think the Cincinnati Bengals will belong in the playoff contender status.
I think you're just a little salty that they beat you.
I think the Super Bowl hangover will affect them, but I don't think they're just going to fall off a cliff just right off the bat. I mean, I could be wrong. It could happen, but I think even with the surgery, off-season surgery to Joe Burrow, I think they're still primed to make another playoff run.
Just saying, don't be jelly. This next one.
Oh boy. This is almost on a deep personal level. It could be to place it like this.
I almost want to say they've graduated to trash.
I think they have to, honestly. You and I are on the same page there too.
I mean, on paper, they still have a very good defense. Running back's good. They have Amari Cooper, but I mean, quarterback situation and all the controversy, there's going to be a lot of question marks coming out. They have to prove it before they even go up again.
I don't think Jacoby Brissett is going to get them over the hump, especially since it went from 6 games to 11 games for Deshaun Watson. So, the best they can hope for is that Brissett is at 500, but that's a lot of wishful thinking. The way the Browns are set up right now. So, but yeah.
I think Joshua Dobbs is going to be starting week 2.
Ooh, there you go. Boy, going from the Steelers to that organization, they let go of Josh Rosen of all people too. Yep.
Who hasn't at this point?
he's gonna be the poor man's Fitzpatrick. He's gonna be on every team's practice squad. Moving on to the Dallas Cowboys, and as much as probably the Philadelphia Eagles are their competition, the playoff contender status will probably belong to the Cowboys. Unless a lot of injuries happen, the Eagles could very well knock them off the pedestal, but I think right now the way it stands after how last year went, I think Dallas is gonna make the playoffs again as the NFC East champs.
I just don't know. Eagles made a lot of pickups this offseason.
They did. It's like I said.
I'll go with you just because it's way too early in the season to see if those pickups come.
There we go.
But I think when we relook at this, the Eagles and the Cowboys might be flipped.
It could be. It could very well be, and it'll be interesting when we come back week 4 and see how they stand. Who knows? They may be the same, or it may be a totally different perspective. What you got for Denver?
Denver? Gosh, I have them going to the playoffs. I'm pretty sure I have them going to the playoffs. I don't know.
Are we ready to say that Russell will take them over the top?
I'm going to say meh. They're interesting, but I'm not going to put them there yet.
He could very well be the piece that they need, or they may just keep spinning their wheels. But I would agree. I wouldn't put him in Blair trash by any means. I think that was definitely a step in the right direction for them, and their quarterback situation was getting Russell Wilson. So I'll say that. Detroit Lions, obviously a very trash year last year, but it wasn't even mostly their fault. There was a lot of bad circumstances, a lot of close games. I'm not ready to put them trash, but I'm not quite ready to put them in the meh. I will start them at blah, and we will see where Dan Campbell leads them from there. What we thinking about Green Bay here?
As long as Aaron Rodgers is on the team, they're going to be a playoff contender.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's just what it is at that point. I'd like to say otherwise, but
well, I think we're about ready to add another one to the trash categories. We've got the Houston Texans now, who is, they're going to stick with Davis Mills as their quarterback. I guess
he did decent.
He did decent. I will respect them for at least trying to give him another chance, all that, but there's just not a whole lot to get truly excited about if you're a Texans fan.
Pick.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Here's the fun part. It's like they released Marlon Mack, of all people, who I thought was, pretty serviceable at running back, but they've got a lot of faith in this rookie that they picked up. So I guess we'll see if that decision was the right one afterwards. But speaking of prime running backs, including Marlon Mack's home, who we got for the Indianapolis Colts?
I'm going to put them in me category.
I could definitely see that.
Playoff contenders, but we'll see how the Titans do.
Exactly. I think that's what it'll absolutely come down to, is that it's still the Titans division to lose. I'm still holding on to that. We may see Matt Ryan just absolutely just come unglued at the helm for Indy, and you know what? Hey, it might be a welcome surprise.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of surprises, this one will definitely not be a surprise. I think Jacksonville will stay down in the bottom where they belong. Don't really have to put a too lot of effort on this one. So now here's where it's going to be fun, because I know exactly what you're going to say after I put this team where I think they should go, which is where they go every year, ever since 2014. I think ever since 2014, absolutely, they are a playoff contender. Even without Tyreek Hill, I think the changes they made on defense and even the new receivers on offense, I still think they have what it takes to make it to the playoffs. Now, we shall see how these first 8 weeks are going to go, because it is a tough schedule. So, we could go into week 9 7-1, or we could go in like 2-5. I mean, that's
2-5 is more like. Okay, I will give you playoff contender. Week 4, though, they're going to be back down to meh. At the end of the year, they're going to be in bleh.
Oh wow! Oh well, I appreciate you not putting us into the trash category. That's very kind of you. And this was your prediction earlier a couple weeks ago too. Chargers. Yeah, I would say they have to be right next to them in the same category.
Yeah. I think you guys are going to be battling out. I just don't have faith in Derek Carr to get them to the next level for the Raiders. I think the Chargers are building enough pieces that they're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
I can't say I disagree on there too, but then again, at the same time, I'm like, man, we hear this every year.
I know. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid here.
They are the most like that fairy tale of like the boy who cried wolf. Like the Chargers are like the NFL equivalent of that. It's like every year it's going to happen, but somehow they get in their own way in the most remarkable of ways. And last year was probably the most remarkable, with a singular timeout honestly costing them a playoff spot.
I respect that timeout.
That's crazy to think that happened. How close that was. I mean, just you could do it. You could do an NFL Films documentary on that game alone. The circumstances and the what the storylines that were going into that game. But another storyline here too was the Matt Stafford-led LA Rams, who were the Super Bowl champions last year. However, are we thinking that they will be the NFC representative in the Super Bowl next year. It's going to be tough. I would put them at the playoff contender. I don't know if I think they're ready to repeat. I don't know if they're going to be able to repeat this next year. We'll have to see. It's a very tough thing to do, go back-to-back.
I almost say back-to-back, but okay, I'll respect that.
You know, I'm looking at the rest of the NFC teams, and I don't know if there's anyone else. Maybe Tampa Bay, and maybe even if Trey Lance just absolutely goes off, maybe even the 49ers. So I'll go ahead, because we need an NFC participant. I'll put the Rams up here for now. I'm just not 100% convinced that they will go back-to-back, but we do need a NFC representative out here at all times, as is tradition.
All right. Well, I want this next one.
All right.
Because I believe the Raiders are meh.
I was actually thinking the same thing. I was on the fence. It's like, are we ready to put them as playoff contender with Devontae Adams now? But man, that's
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
You know them from being in your division. They always go for the shiniest player out there.
Mm-hmm.
How often does that work for them?
Point taken.
I respect Devontae Adams. He's a hell of a player. But is that enough?
Is that enough? History shown since 2002? Not necessarily. So you never really know. All right. Well, you took that one, so I'm going to take this one because this one's almost pretty too close to home here. The Miami Dolphins. We talked about it earlier. It is definitely Buffalo's division to lose. I still think the Patriots are just a little bit better just because of their defense. So I'm not ready to put the Dolphins at playoff contender yet. I think they are meh, right next to the Raiders.
All right, yeah, I can see that. Now we got the Vikings.
Oh boy,
and
this one's kind of tough to gauge, honestly.
They could have been playoff contenders last year if their defense just held.
Mm-hmm.
I say they stay in meh.
They stay in meh. I was going to say, it's tough to gauge because now you've got a brand new head coach who is supposedly going to not be as conservative and not as shy as Mike Zimmer. So that could be meh or that could be trash territory depending on how this works out. But I'll take your side on that. I'll stick with meh on that. I don't think they were horrible last year. Obviously, coming down to last second field goals, they beat the Packers. They beat the Steelers. I mean, they had some good wins, but they had some really tough losses, including to the Detroit Lions, who were winless at the time. So it'll be interesting to see how they bounce back this year. Back to what I was saying about New England. I think as far as because I believe I had them as a wild card team. So Buffalo, obviously the division champs. I think Patriots as a wild card.
Yeah, I mean, as long as Bill Belichick's there, they have a shot.
Absolutely.
Saints, I say they're bleh.
Oh wow, okay. Not a whole lot of faith right now, even with that defense of theirs.
Yeah, they just traded away a key piece too in their secondary.
That is true.
They just don't have it on offense. I mean, if every game was a 10-point game, maybe, but I just don't like it.
I hear you. Well, and now we've got the New Jersey teams here too, and shout out to our friend Skate Free Tommy. I think he would probably put them in the trash category. I'm gonna be a little more respectful. I'll keep them bleh for now, just for him.
You don't think they're trash?
Not yet. Come see me.
Saquon goes injured.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Come see me week 4 when Saquon's out, and then we'll talk.
Oh gosh. Isn't that just a shame, though, that he has that reputation?
Yeah.
He's so good and just can't stay healthy.
It's so tough. He's got like the RG3 syndrome almost.
Wow.
He had the one good year, and then you're excited, you got hope, you got expectations, and then just injury just kills you.
Yep. Oh, now Jets, they're trash.
I would have to agree with that too. So, Zach Wilson, had that scare with the potential ACL injury, but sounds like he's going to be okay. I mean, unless he just absolutely shines, that's a tough division. Even just getting past the Dolphins is going to be a tall task, much less the Patriots and the Bills. I'm sorry, Jets, but you could be good, but it's going to be tough to be good enough. I'll do the Eagles next because I know you'll want the one after that. As I mentioned earlier, I think the Eagles have the best chance to take down Dallas. I don't think I'm ready to put them as playoff contender yet. We shall see. I'm going meh right now. I think AJ Brown was a great pickup too. They just traded Jalen Reagor away. So let's see. We'll see how that defense and that new look offense is going to look with behind Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I agree there. I could see them switching with the Cowboys, but or both being in the wild card. But yeah, that's an okay spot for them. Now the Steelers. I'm not going to be delusional and say they're Super Bowl contender, but I believe they are a playoff contender.
Oh man! All right.
Mike Tomlin is at the helm. They're going to be in the talks for the playoffs.
I was on the fence on that one in match, just the only reason because we don't even know like how long Trubisky's going to last at the starting quarterback position. But if he's good enough, then I mean, you've got Baltimore and you've got the Bengals, and how the Steelers match up against them will be very telling during the regular season. But you know what? I'll let you have the Steelers in playoff contender, and we shall revisit this week 4 and move on from there. Seattle Seahawks. Yep, this one's pretty cut and dry. They go to the bottom. Is with even with Geno Smith starting over Drew Lock, even with DK Metcalf as your top wide receiver, man, I just don't see a whole lot of upside right now. Even with Pete Carroll still as your head coach, they've got a lot to prove.
It would be different if it was the Legion of Boom Seahawks, where they had a great defense and an okay offense. They just got nothing. They got okay or sub-average all the way around.
Exactly.
All right, so the 49ers. I want to go bleh.
Wow. Okay. So we're not putting all of our eggs in the Trey Lance basket yet, are we?
I think. I mean, he did decent. He did okay. I don't even think he did that great. I think there's a reason why they kept Jimmy G.
I saw that they reworked his contract and he will be staying with the team and all that after all these rumors that he might go elsewhere. But yeah, Jimmy G is staying a 49er.
Yep. No, I think they probably just wanted a lot of money for him because they still weren't sure yet. And yeah, no, I say they're bleh.
All right. Well, we can definitely see week 4. We can revisit this too. I was thinking about putting him in the meh category, but bleh, I guess for what it's worth, Trey Lance isn't very proven yet. So, yeah, I think that's a fair place to put him for now, too. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, obviously coming through one of the weakest divisions in football very easily. Like I said, I was kind of thinking about the Super Bowl category, but nope, I'll keep them conservative in the playoff contender.
The offensive line scares me for Tampa Bay. They lost some key pieces there, and Tom, if he's under pressure right up in the center, he doesn't do so good. That's not his style of play.
It'll definitely be interesting to see how this last year of Tom Brady it turns out for him. Will it be an early playoff exit, or will he ride off into the sunset with yet another Super Bowl ring? God help us all. Moving on to Tennessee, and as I mentioned earlier, AFC South, it's their division to lose. We got a lot of AFC teams here in playoff contender right now, but I think Tennessee will definitely be one of them.
Yep, and this last one, it's fitting. It's trash. The team is trash. Mm-hmm. My terrible towel just fell down.
The owner's trash. Their culture is trash. Although don't say that to Bruce Campbell because the culture is damn good according to him. But no, the Washington Commies, excuse me, the Commanders. No, I'm sticking with it. They'll always be the Commies to me. There's just not too much to be excited about. I mean, yeah, you got Scary Terry. I mean, yeah, you might get Chase Young back. Who knows how long he'll be out for, too. But, yeah, I think it's going to be a battle between the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. The Washington Commies, That's a lot to ask for them to be competitive in that division. They may sneak out a win here or there on their division, but yep, I really don't think it's going to be anything less than a Dallas Eagles kind of matchup there.
I definitely agree. And going back to Tampa Bay, what if he does win a Super Bowl and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have more Super Bowls than the Chiefs?
Oh, jeez. Shoot. I mean, oh god, if that's what it is, then I don't know. I may quit the show. All right, and there you have it, folks. That was the pre-season 1. How about pre-week 1? How about some preseason? We're still in preseason technically, right? No, we're done preseason. No, it is the pre-week 1 tier maker list. Let us know down in the comments below what you agree with, what you disagree with. Do you think our predictions for your team was correct? Do you think they're higher? Do you think they're lower? Let us know. We'd be happy to hear you from there too. But yeah, this is the last week without regular season football, and I'm so excited to get back to this. It's been so long. We're itching. We're clawing. It's burning inside of us. We need this football season back. Any closing thoughts before we wrap things up here, Trajan?
Like you said, I'm just happy football's back. It's a different year, different challenges for both of our teams, and I think it's going to be an exciting year to watch.
Absolutely. It's always exciting when it comes to the regular season football, because this is when the real stuff begins. That's when the drama, the hype, the expectations, the hope, and then ultimately the heartbreak for 31 teams. So, you know what? Them's the breaks, right? So, but on that note, click like if you liked the video, click subscribe if you really liked it, tell all your friends, and we will see you next week for the week 1 preview.
Ooh.
Get excited, baby. This is Temple and Trajan. Signing off.